If you watch global markets, you've likely noticed a distinct center of gravity pulling capital eastward. Since the year 2000, India's economy has nearly quadrupled in real terms. It is currently expanding at a 6.5% growth rate, locking it into a tight race for the position of the world's fourth largest economy. Take a look at this chart. As the line representing India's gross domestic product shoots upward, the line tracking extreme poverty falls just as sharply, dropping from over 16% to just 2.3% in roughly a decade. On paper, combining high-speed wealth generation with such a steep drop in poverty suggests a transition into high-income status is underway. It is the statistical alignment behind the phrase Indian economic miracle. But the government of India isn't just riding this wave. They have set a strict deadline. They call it Viksit Bharat, a national mandate to officially become a developed upper-middle-income nation by the year 2047, the centenary of its independence. The question is whether the current momentum guarantees that arrival, or if the impressive top-line numbers are masking structural vulnerabilities. Right now, the country operates across two different economic realities. On one side, you have explosive, highly centralized high-tech wealth. On the other, a massive labor market where the vast majority of work remains informal. To figure out if India will actually hit its 2047 deadline, we have to look past the soaring skylines and examine how the actual machinery of this economy is built. We can see the scale of the physical boom in the country's infrastructure. Complex coastal highway interchanges are currently under construction to connect commercial hubs. The digital landscape is evolving just as fast. India's tech sector has moved far beyond its old reputation as a back-office support hub. Buildings like the layered, modern T-Hub are the physical footprint of an ecosystem now operating on the front lines of global AI and deep tech strategy. Then there is the industrial output. India currently manufactures 60% of the world's vaccines. You can see the scale of this precision in facilities where workers operate complex, high-volume vial filling machinery. They are also hitting their climate targets. India achieved its goal of sourcing 50% of its electricity from non-fossil fuels 5 years ahead of schedule. The footprint of their solar panel arrays easily dwarfs the workers maintaining them. That green pivot extends to transportation, too. With active public charging infrastructure rolling out nationwide, projections suggest India will hit 17 million annual electric vehicle sales by 2030. This industrial infrastructure provides a physical anchor for the growth numbers, moving the conversation from speculative market projections to tangible output. But reaching developed status by 2047 requires a specific mathematical acceleration. Look at this gauge. The current 6.5% growth rate is actually too slow. To hit the target, the needle must push to a sustained 7.8% for the next 2 decades. Powering this acceleration requires massive capital. India must push its real investment rate from 33.5% of GDP to 40%. And here is where the friction starts. High-tech services and capital-intensive manufacturing alone cannot employ a population of 1.4 billion people. While urban unemployment has improved recently, it remains a stubborn challenge. Furthermore, the wealth generated in corporate centers doesn't easily flow outward, creating deep regional disparities in development. But the largest mathematical bottleneck sits within the demographics. Currently, female labor force participation is trapped at 35.6%. India has built advanced tech and manufacturing engines, but they are essentially being throttled because the country is operating with an underutilized human base. Addressing this requires structural reform at the ground level, building firm bridges between the corporate boom and the everyday workforce. Global financial institutions like the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation are stepping in, funding municipal financing and local urban infrastructure to create more productive, livable cities. They are also backing micro, small, and medium enterprise loans specifically targeted at women. We see the result of this on factory floors, where female workers take on active management of technical operations and drive production. Scaling these grassroots investments in human capital is as critical to the national timeline as the success of any billion-dollar tech unicorn. Realizing the full value of its demographic dividend depends on one specific shift: raising female labor participation to a baseline of 50%. Closing the gap between a highly advanced manufacturing sector and an untapped pool of human capital is the only mathematical way to cross that 2047 finish line. Solving this dual economy paradox would offer a new case study in development, proving that a nation can integrate its high-tech industry with its total workforce to reach its centenary goals.